क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है, कौन कौन सा इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है आपको पता रहना चाहिए जो एग्जाम के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, प्लस आपके बेसिक कॉमन सेंस के लिए व्हाट आर द इम्पोर्टेंट concept you should know always when you come to the economics. And economics is very important, and if anybody want to live a material life, then it is a like a blood of the body. Economics is like a blood of the body. Without blood, person cannot be lived. That's why without economics you cannot live in a material life. So for that sense, economics in academic purpose it is important for competitive exam, but at the same time it is very core foundation thing you should have when you come to the material life or you want to live life in this era. So we will try to study economics in academic sense. What is economics? In what are the topic we are going to study in economics? What are the important concepts you should remember for day-to-day life, as well as uh, what are the terminology you should always remember in conceptual manner for your academic studies. So if we try to start economics, the most important question come in our life and in every philosopher who tries to decode this world. They there is certain question who I am, which is always popular, and another question is how the world is working, how the world is working, and how people are living. Then you see that most important problem, if you ask somebody, then he will say that poverty. Poverty is the most uh, biggest problem we are facing, and we are going. We need to come come. We need to make such a policy so that we should eradicate that poverty, or we should mitigate that poverty. So if in that sense we try to start the chapters of economy, ki what is the cause of poverty and why it is very challenging task for humanity, and how the economics as a subject is going to give in depth view to solve that problem. If we understand, agar hum log chahte hain, if we try to understand the economics, then first thing, what is that, why there is people and they are poor. अगर मैं इंडियन इकोनॉमी की बात किया जाए तो सबसे पहले आप देखेंगे कि इंडिया में अराउंड 140 करोड़ पीपल्स हैं. वी हैव 140 करोड़ पीपल, एंड इफ वी वांट टू सेग्रीगेट, if we want to make some class for our convenience or understanding part, then we can segregate this with a line, and I say this line, or uh, economic people say this line as a below poverty line, BPL. Means the people below the poverty line, they are considered poor. And what is the definition of poor? Then there is the World Bank who said अगर कोई पर डे दो डॉलर से कम कमा रहा है तो वो पुअर है. तो ये पर डे $2 से कम कमा रहा है पुअर है, ठीक है ये. और इंडिया में अगर ये जो कैलकुलेशन किए हैं, अलग अलग समिति है, अलग अलग कमेटी है, देयर आर नंबर ऑफ कमिटीज, दे एनालाइज एंड come up with a report what should be the India's poverty level. Then we have Tendulkar committee, we have C Rangarajan committee, who said that around 20 to 30% people of India is poor. Means they are unable to make per day $2 according to World Bank, and we consider them poor and in absolute poverty. If we consider that parameter, then we can say that around 140 crore, we have large section of people. If we take 30% or 20%, then we can say that around 45 crore people in India are poor. So there is a one way, and another way how the government works. What for working of government, what you need money. Then next concept, we will understand how government work, and for that what need to function the government, we need money, and how the money will come. Then you will know that the money will come to government by taxes. then we will understand what is taxes. ठीक? And taxes will be two types. One will be the direct taxes, means any person who is working, he will give some portion of their money to the government for getting some service from the government. And then what government will do from that money? Government will make some budget. Government will make budget, and through budget, what will do government? What will do government? Government will give some important policy or scheme through which we will try to eradicate poverty, and we will try to improve the standard of life. So budget is one of the redistribution process. Redistribution process through which we try to redistribute the resources, because last time when we learned the polity, then we said that our country is democratic country and we have adopted the welfare state, and there is a concept that there is a justice, social, political and economical. And last class in DPSP what we see that there will be no concentration of wealth or to the individual or a community. So the resource will be redistribute in a such a manner that everyone in this country will get their pie of money, their pie of resources. So through government, through economic policy, government will redistribute that money through their scheme and program, and through which there will be a generation or flow of money. And what we say in economics, that the government policy, what we say, fiscal policy through which government will be make budget. And another thing, if they are below poverty line, then if some section of people are giving tax, so how many percent of people are giving the tax to the government? What we say, if there according to the study, what we say that in our income tax department, what we say, out of 100, only just 10 people give the income tax. So if we calculate 140 crore, then only 15 crore, 14 to 15 crore people just give, 15 crore people give the income tax. And through 14 crore income tax, people give income tax, and we have around 50 crore people who are below poverty line. So the task is humongous, the population pressure is high, but our government tries to make through their fiscal policy redistribute the resources to the vulnerable section of the society through its fiscal policy. Another important thing, what we can say that if there is a people who are below poverty line and the people above are above poverty line, then how we can see these puzzles in another perspective? We can say that through this, if these are the government, there is another way through which money can be generated and money can be distributed, and that is the flow of money, and this is regulated by some institution, and that institution we can say a bank, because we know for generation of money and the flow of money, what is important? An institution which take money from the people and give interest when they deposit their money, or when a person who want to make any economy, who want to take in any economic activity, they can get credit from that system. So bank is an institution through which people deposit their money and take credit, and through this credit they generate economic activity. Then we will study what is economic activity, what are the factors of production, we will study in subsequent lessons. And for our understanding, we will try to segregate that economic activity in three sections: primary activity, secondary and tertiary. So we can classify in three different sectors, that is primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Generally primary sector are Agriculture and allied activity. Agriculture and allied activity means agriculture, mining, animal husbandry. All the activity comes under the primary sector. And second is the secondary sector. We can also say manufacturing sector or industrial sector. And tertiary sector is service sector. Tertiary sector is service sector. Then we will say that people are working in primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. If there are some people who are poor or they are in skill or semi-skill, in which sector they are working. So for the calculation of how many money they are producing, we will calculate that GDP. We will calculate the term what we can GDP. So we will understand the calculation how the economic growth is happening, and for that we need to understand the variable, and we will understand the variable that is GDP or gross domestic product. Means gross domestic product is the variable which shows that in 1 year how much value addition is happening in this society or economy. So we will try to understand what is the GDP contribution of primary sector or agriculture sector, what is the GDP contribution of secondary or manufacturing sector, what is the contribution in GDP sense in service sector. Then we will find out that the most of the value is created in tertiary sector or service sector. So Indian economy initially when there was independent, primary sector was generating lot of money, but with the time our tertiary sector is generating more money. For example, around 20%, around 16 to 15 to 20% of GDP is come from primary sector, then around 20 to 25% come from secondary sector, around 50 to 60% money in the terms of value come from service sector. Then we will see another important aspect in our economy, that is how many persons are employed in which sector. So in primary sector we will see that the number of people who are engaged in primary sector is huge. Around more than 50% population of India is still engaged in a primary sector. But what we see, the GDP contribution in the primary sector is just 20%. And what will we see in manufacturing sector, lot more people are contributing, and in service sector there are a few people who were in service sector, but they are earning or they are creating more value than everyone else. And there you will see that another parameter. If we see that in primary sector number of people are there, but in economic value addition is very less, economic generation is very less. In the service sector there are few people who are generating more money, and in that way we will see that there is another parameter we will see, and that is called inequalities. We will see what is inequalities and how this inequality is happening. And another thing we will see that unemployment, because in primary sector lot of people are engaged, but their contribution in monetary term is very less or somewhat zero. That we will discuss about that in the topic of unemployment. And in unemployment we will take that this, what will say that number of people are involved in that, but their marginal utility is very zero, and what we can disguise unemployment. So next we will see how the industry is moving from agriculture to manufacturing sector and manufacturing sector to service sector, which is classical economic theory, and how the nation move. But in India sense we will see that how from primary sector people are directly jumping into tertiary sectors. But for manufacturing sector, what you need skill and education. But we have not worked on that field. So for that we will understand another topic, and that topic will be called human development, where we will talk about how human resources are important, how their economic well-being is important, how their education qualification is important. And next we will talk about the appetite for making something new. now we have the startup culture. So when we come to know about the startup culture, and most important thing what will be required is a credit and money. So we'll understand important segment, that is bank, and in bank how money will be multiplied and generate in a system, and through we will understand banking system which is regulated by RBI. We will understand about RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India. What is Reserve Bank of India? Reserve Bank of India is an institution which regulates our banking system. We will understand how RBI works and what is the very primary important objective of RBI. We will understand. You have heard about the inflation. Inflation. What is inflation? And the primary target and objective of RBI is to control inflation as well as to supply money to the system. So we will study about different role and function of RBI, and through RBI how RBI controls money supply in a system, and we will see that money supply in the system, and the one important thing with the help of inflation, the concept of inflation, where RBI has, the government has given a target to the RBI that you have to make inflation around 4 plus minus 2%. So we will see about the inflation, how inflation is best for economy, how inflation reduce the value or value of money. We will study all about things. So we will understand what we are going to study in economy. If I try to summarize here, then we will see that first thing we will understand what is economic activity, what is production, what is consumption, what is distribution, what is redistribution. Then we will try to understand what is the growth and what is the development of the people. Growth and development, what is the difference between growth and development. Then we will understand what are the primary sector activity, what are the secondary sector activity, what are the tertiary sector activity. Then we will understand the sector of activity, the sector of economy. Then we will, to understand that the sector of economy, we need to calculate that economy. Then we have to read the concept called GDP, GNP, gross national product, gross domestic product, national income. We will learn national income, how to calculate national income. Then we will see the sector, in which sector how many people are there. Then we will understand next concept, employment. In employment, we will understand what are different type of employment, how the service is conducted, and to give employment, what are the government policies are there, what are the different yojanas are there. We are going to study. Next important thing we will study the most important, how government work and how government get money to run the whole country. Then we will study fiscal policy. In fiscal policy, we will learn about budget, what is budget in annual financial statement, how budget is important, who makes the budget, and who gives budget statement, and how parliament discuss budget, and everything we will study in fiscal policy. And in budget there is a taxes, which is one of the important thing through which government get money from the people. And another thing in budget, we always also see how government use that money in different work, from investment, disinvestment, for taking loan, and how they spend through their government yojanas or salaries to the government employee. And next thing we will study about the RBI banking, and for regulation of money through RBI, we say that is a monetary policy. We will learn about monetary policy. Every 2-3 months there is a meeting through which RBI comes to the public and says what is the state of economy, how there is inflation, is there, what is the level of inflation, or what is the credit situation, what is the liquidity. In that, we will see the RBI's monetary policy tools. There are rates, repo rate, reverse repo rate, bank rate, everything we are going to study on that. And then we will see another regulatory body for financial market, and for the capital market we will study capital market, financial market in a short term, or what you say in a share market. You are we will study the important basic terminology what exam asked. We are going to take that is in say share market, what is trading, and what is debt, what is equity, what is bond. We are will study. Then there is another portion in financial market for monetary policy. They are connected. There is a insurance sector we will study. There is a pension system, pension insurance and pension regulatory authority we are going to study. Important banks we are going to study like SIDBI, NABARD, because SIDBI and NABARD are made for a special purpose, and for we will study that also. So most important, we will going to study in that manner. First we will study about the money, what is the evolution of money, and how our money system changes from barter system to coin based system, then metal system, then gold, silver, then we got demand draft note system, how that changed into the uh, plastic money or credit card, debit card, then how it is changed to the electronics money, NEFT, RTGS. Then we will study now the present era where we are living. Data is a new oil, crypto and cryptocurrency. Everything in evolution part we will see. Then regulatory part we will see. Then banking system we will see. And important and most important is what we are going to see. Why there is why important is economy is very important. And if we see why important economy is very important, we will see that there is a scarcity of resources and there is limited resources, and people, their wants and demand will be always increasing. So we will study the how we can optimize that, how we can optimize through our decision and fulfill the demands of the people, or unlimited demand of the people with limited resources. And this is all about the economic system or understanding economics. We will going to study on that manner. So let's start from here. So Indian economy. After introductory part, let's start what is economy in formal sense. So economics is just one ancient Greek term. Oikonomia means management of family, or management of family or household. Or if you want to manage your household, you need something, and said something that variable is in later state what we say money. In simple sum, economy is what is economy? Economy is study of how to use limited resources. What I said, if you are living in the earth, Mother Earth has limited resources, where the people who have unlimited or demand. So if you are conscious about the limited resources and unlimited demand, and if you want to solve that problem balancedly, the only way is to optimize the process, optimize use of resources. And in another sense, what we can say, what is the economy? In economy, in social science, where we mostly understand in 3-4 process: what is the production, what is the distribution, what is the consumption of goods. In economics, we will always concern about what is the level of production, what is the distribution, what is the consumption. This is the important factor or parameter through which we will try to analyze the situation. And to understand economy, you have to give the important factor of production through which economic activity is done. So what are the factor of production? Factor of production what you need to make something. So there is a factor of production, and they are land, labor, capital, land, labor, capital, and enterprise. You, if you want to make something, then, or if you want to get some economic benefit, then if any of this parameter or the combination of parameter you have, more you have the combination of this parameter, you can be more wealthy. So if you have land, you can get economic through giving rent. You can take rent by giving someone to offer to use your service resources. If you can labor, through labor you can get wage. If you have capital, you can give to somebody and you can get interest. And if you have enterprise, then what you can get? You can get profit. So these four are called factor of production. Factor of production include land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Through land you can get rent. Through labor you can get wage. Through capital you can get interest, and through enterprise you can get profit. These are the four ingredients. These are the four ingredients that make economic activity in our world today. Next important factor of production, something you have made and you have to sell the market. What I said in economics, what we are going to understand. So what we are going to understand, how economics works, what is the state of economy, what is the reason for poverty, why people are unemployed, what is the reason of what do you mean by growth, why there is a low growth, why there is a high growth, what is the GDP, which calculates the growth. Then we will try to understand the mechanism, how and why some scarcity make or break the demand and supply curve. What happens when international oil or international war take place, or when the oil supply mismatch or anything, the disturbance happen in the demand and supply, what happen, we will study. What we will try to understand the economics in different provision, different sectors, agriculture sectors, manufacturing sector, and service sector. We will also try to understand the quality of human, what we said in last slide, what are the factors of production, and there is another last fourth is enterprise. Enterprise is a human. If the quality of human is good, if quality of human is good, then what you can generate lot of values from them. So if he is skilled and educated, he has a potential to create more wealth. Next, one important thing we will also study. We are studying Indian economy, plus economic system is not run alone in a segregation or in isolation. So for that we will also study the trade between one and another country, nation one and nation two. We will study the trade relation between nation one and nation two. What we say international relation, international trade. For international trade, we will study the institution through which we participate in international trade, like WTO, We will study about WTO, World Trade Organization. We will study IMF, International Monetary Fund. We will study IBRD, International Bank of Reconstruction and Development, which you usually know, World Bank. What we will study this, and then there are number of economic group through which there is free trade agreement. There are associations which we will study, such as SRK, and most important organization which is very important for your competitive exam also. What is different group which always take headlines in news, like G20. G20 is an economic group. G20 is an economic group through which there are number 20 important leading countries are there who are shaping the world economy. We will study all G20's countries from Canada, America, Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, UK, France, Italy, Saudi Arabia, China, India, Japan, Indonesia. We will try to understand biggest emerging 20 economy through which the whole world economic system works. Then we will also learn about the institution called BRICS. This is important economic institution through which the hegemony based are challenges, or these 5 emerging countries are contributing to maximum GDP to the GDP of the world. Brazil, we will study Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They are the institutions where India has invested very heavily, and they have made 2 important banks we will understand. Apart from IMF and World Bank, there is a new bank, what we say NDP. We will understand NDP, New Development Bank. Then we will understand AIIB, Asian Development Bank. We are going to study. So number of things we will study, but let's go. How we are going to study economics, and one of the way through which which is easy method for me, and you can also adopt that. First, try to understand. What is the method? Method is first try to understand the terminology. Try to understand the term, and if you know the term, then try to use that term and interlink in your concept. For example, first you should know what is balance of payment. Once you know the balance of payment, then you can use in international. Balance of payment is very important for international trade. How import and export one country do, what is the foreign relationship between that country. So in balance of trade, you will understand export, import, foreign exchange, all the things. Important parameter you will understand, that is FDI, foreign direct investment, FPI, foreign portfolio investment. So how we are going to understand history is, first we will try to learn that terminology, and then through that terminology we will try to explore important things and concepts. Likewise, GDP. First we will try to understand GDP. GDP is the value of all goods and services produced in a money, and the calculation of GDP tells about how value is added in an economy. What is the GDP growth? Everything. GDP, per capita income, we will understand. Purchasing power parity. This is also another terminology. First, we will try to understand that what is purchasing power parity. Then we will use that terminology in economic sense. What is currency? First, we will understand what is currency, how currency is used. Then we will try to understand that. So let us start the Indian economy. In what is the statics, what are the important points you should know when somebody asks what is Indian economy. Then first thing you can say that we are India is the world's third largest economy. India is world's third largest economy, having in purchasing power parity terms. If we say in real term, in GDP's purchasing power term, we are the third largest economy, and in real sense, in real economy, we are on fifth place. And presently, our economy is around, some estimates are telling 5 trillions, 4 trillion, but it is around 4 trillions. Let's see what will the official budget of 2024 will tell. Most important thing, Indian economy is always will be in news, because India's economy is one of the fastest in emerging economy of the world. We are one of the fastest economy of the world. So always, in when you will read newspaper, you will see the Indian economy, and we are the most populous country also. And if we are the most populous country, there is lot of demerits of having the largest population of the world, but there is also a good thing that if there are a lot of people, means there is a demand. High population means high demand. So if there is a demand, then every country want to invest. So now India is one of the promising island where institutions and nations are investing. So we will see how this incoming of the FPI and FDI will save our Indian economy. Historically, when we see India's economy, then in 17th century, our economy is not new. Our economy has its rooted from the ancient civilization. If we see the oldest civilization, this is Harappa civilization. And there, at the time of Harappa civilization, we used to trade with Mesopotamian civilization or Egyptian civilization. And our role in world economy is very, very important and dominating position. Till before the Industrial Revolution, 50% of world GDP is contributed by India and China only. 60% of the world GDP is contributed by India and China only. At the time of 17th century, India's GDP is contributing around 35 to 40%. But what happened with the time? There was an important event which changed everything, and that is Industrial Revolution. And Industrial Revolution changed everything. Whole the economics of the system was changed, because through Industrial Revolution, lot of new technology come to the Europe, and with the time, Europe become the center of wealth generation, and with the time, Europe have been prosperous in such a way that a lot of it is everywhere in a world market. And if we see the present situation now after independence, 70 years, 75 years, what we are saying, in 17th century there was a dominance of India and China, but in 18th century, due to the Industrial Revolution, Europe get that pedal. In the 20th century, it was America who navigate the world's economy, and it is saying that in 20th century, it was the China and India who is going to save the world, and now we are witnessing that movement. So if we study economics, then we can also contribute in an economy in a such a way that in 2024, what our Prime Minister says, in 2047, when we will get independent, we will celebrating 100 year of independent. We want, our Prime Minister want that we should make a developed country. A developed country means having high standard of life, where there is education, health, and the peoples are living with prosperity. Their aspirations are fulfilling. So now what our government has focused, and that is we are celebrating our Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, and next 25 years we need to work hard. And there is a debate which is reached yesterday to the parliament that we need to work around 40 hours, 60 hours in a per week, and that debate is going on. Means at the important point, we are regaining our global economic position through our policy and programs, and through which we are going to change the world through our own contribution. Jai Hind. We will try to understand economics in holistic and academic plus competitive manner. Jai Hind.